Hey, what's going on, YouTube fam? So, check this out. So, today's video is going to talk about utilizing your resources and knowing how to effectively do some research and kind of, how can I word it? Make effective and efficient strides toward achieving your goals. So, I was just kind of talking to a friend of mine, close friend of mine, close relative of mine actually, and we were talking about how people struggle with trying to find a job or just trying to find a job that pays well while they're working on what it is they really truly want to do, right? Because let's face it, sometimes some of the things that we want to do, our purpose, maybe even it may not generate a lot of money. Okay, it's just the truth. It may not generate the kind of money, the kind of wealth that we're looking for, or that we're wanting for our lives, or that we want to obtain, achieve, sustain, whatever the case may be. So sometimes the things that bring us joy the most are the things that doesn't have any type of monetary value to it. You see what I'm saying? And it's almost like, okay, me doing these videos, right? And just kind of teaching people, uplifting people, all these great things. It doesn't bring me any type of monetary value, right? Me sharing this knowledge with you guys, I don't get anything out of it. You know, my videos are monetized. I don't get anything out of it. I don't get YouTube checks or anything like that. So, and no, don't take that. I know my followers understand that that's not a me complaining or anything like that. That's just me simply stating facts. So I do this because it's uplifting, it makes me feel good, and I get to share my knowledge with people that are willing to listen and hopefully help someone else along their journey, right? So, and that gives me joy. It brings me joy. It helps me and things like that. Initially, I did not start it out that way. I was more so just kind of I do counseling and coaching and things like that, and I kind of wanted to give my prospective clients a taste of kind of what they would experience if they would have came and got their services from me or whatever the case may be. Just kind of wanted to almost like try before you buy type of thing, just because I just understand that sometimes people need to hear that, they need to see that. And I also am 100% solid in my techniques and what I do. So I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what this all originally started for. It was just kind of me a way of being able to do those things. But also, it's also something that I love to do anyways. I love to talk to people. I love to share my knowledge. I love to share my ideas and things that I've learned. That's just something that I do for free. And that's kind of like my way of giving back too, because sometimes they say, especially when you start out, you kind of when you are starting out, you have to kind of offer off these free sessions, kind of do all these groundwork. And I'm just specifically talking about what I do. Counseling, coaching, all that good stuff, type of stuff, spiritual, all those good things that metaphysicians do, so I'm just talking about those things because that's where I'm at right now. So in doing those things, people often say, well, you got to kind of get out there, get your name out there, promote, offer some free sessions. You see the Facebook ads and things like that, so you even on YouTube, you see them talking about them. So that's kind of like, oh, well, maybe I should just go ahead and do it. And also, it's easy for me to do it because it's something that I simply enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy making these videos. I enjoy making my posts. I enjoy posting uplifting things and positivity. That's just something that I enjoy doing. I can do that all day, every day, getting paid or not getting paid, because that's something that I just love uplifting people and just kind of sharing my story, my testimony with people, and using that as a survival guide and like being a beacon of hope and just kind of using that as hope to someone else when they're going through what they're going through, So it's just kind of like that's what I like to do because that's what someone has done for me when I was going through what I was going through, when I was going through my dark times, when I was contemplating suicide, had it all planned out, so it those are the things that help me. So I just want to help others, be a blessing to others. So with that being said, let's talk about utilizing your resources and effectively researching. So, I understand that a lot of people out there are getting in their purpose and they're wanting to start a business, or they have a business already, or they work at a job where they may not necessarily make a lot of money, but they get good fulfillment and joy out of it. But they are still looking for ways to make money, right? And he talked about it. My cousin was like, well, man, I get on Indeed and I'm lost. I don't know the first way of making money. I first thing I think about is, well, this particular grocery store, we have HEB, so I know they pay well, or you don't go to Kroger, just different types of things like that. Walmart, people think of these places that they know that they can go to, skill, make money, and get a job and get it quickly. But the thing is that, but you also, like he said, he still wanted to be able to make sure that he's able to keep his business running and things like that. This is kind of like more so, I guess, what some people may say a passive, and not passive income. This is more so like an additional stream of income, like that income that you have when business is low. You still have that good stable income coming in. So that's what this was supposed to be. But I just thought about it, like, I wonder how many people were where I was at a point in time in my life when I thought that I wanted to make money. I wanted to get out of the hood. I wanted to do some things, but I did not necessarily know how to do it. And I know I didn't want to do fast food. I know I didn't necessarily want to do retail. I know I didn't want to do the grocery stuff because I had done that before. And I realized the amount of money that I had made. And it was just kind of like, yeah, I need a little bit more than that. Right. So what I started doing was kind of those apps at the time that we had. I think we had, what was it? Was it still MySpace? MySpace, I think Facebook was just getting started. And we had these little other apps that people would get on. I can't necessarily think of them, but we would get on these apps, and I just kind of remember starting a conversation, right? Just kind of talking to people saying, hey, man, yeah, I'm looking for a job. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And some people will give you a little bit of advice. You would think that an older person would give you a little bit more advice. And sometimes they would. They'll just tell you what they need to tell you, but they probably so used to people coming to them, they just wasn't, that's not what they were there for. So you kind of wanted to talk to someone that was more aligned with where you are and who you are at that time in your life, right? Because a 21-year-old non-skilled person who just has a high school diploma, someone who is maybe 45, 50 years old, bachelor's level, probably master's level, who's been in their job for 20, 30 years, and a director somewhere, you know what I mean, that they're not gonna, and I'm not gonna say being at that job because the numbers don't add up, but if they were in their field for that while, or that length of time, or whatever the case may be, right? So not 30. Let me just take that's not even. I'm not even gonna try to make that work because it's not the math thing. That thing. So I'm just gonna say been in their job for about a good 20 years, right? They've been in their career for about a good 20 years. So they're seasoned. They're very well marketable. So they're not going to really have much advice to give to me because they're so far from it. Now, in the beginning stages, they may have had a wealth of knowledge, but they, to go back then 20 plus years to try to tell me, it's just not the same, right? It's like 2006, and that was back in what, 80, no, 86, yeah, 86, 96, 2006, yeah. So that was back in the 80s, right? So it's just kind of like it's not the same, we have CDs, it's just MP3, it's not the same. So they could just kind of give me a little bit of what they had to kind of give. But when you talk to someone that's like you, that's kind of where you're at, you all can share good information. And this one person told me, yeah, I heard that this place we call Chase Come. Of course, that's a call center. You know what I mean? If you're a talker, hey, get it where you can get it. So they was like, yeah, I know this call center is hot. I said, a call center? And they were like, yeah. I said, oh man, I ain't want to do no call center because you hear all these stories. And they're like, yeah, man, but they pay good, you get benefits and blah, 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 blah. And so, it's like having a little career and while you figure out what you need to get taken care of. And I was just like, okay. He's like, well, can you type? I was like, well, yeah. He said, well, I'm sure you can type because you're typing me now and you're spelling good and stuff like that. And so it's like, okay, so you talking, and it was just like, it's just like you're having a conversation with everybody else. And so I was just like, well, what about my typing skills? I don't necessarily know if I could type like that, 45 words per minute and something like that. And I can't think of I think it's WPMI or WPH. No, that's an hour. That's driving. But anyways, I think it's 45 words per minute. So I was just kind of like, woo. But at that time, I mean, some people typing speed now is crazy. Like the way people, that's nothing. But when you're not really used to typing, and the last typing that you did was when you had a keyboard and typing class. And so, it's kind of like, you, you're like, hey, listen, and you have to kind of know how to spell at that time too, pretty good, or know how to work a way around because we didn't necessarily have the spell check and all those things at that time. I mean, we had it, but it wasn't free. It wasn't as readily available now as it is. It's not. It wasn't as readily available then as it is now. I mean, your phone has spell check. So it was just kind of like, and at that time, I wasn't necessarily the best speller to be put on the spot. Like if something was written and if it wasn't spelled correctly, I know that it was spelled incorrectly. But to freehand spell, I was kind of like, ooh, now I've gotten a whole lot better at that, and that's even something too that you have to also kind of side note. If you realize you're lacking in a certain skill set, then take the time to invest in yourself and strengthen that skill set. You see what I'm saying? So, anyways, that was just basically networking and then communicating. And I got a job. He told me a place to go to. I was hoping we were going to work together, but that didn't work out. He got hired at another call center, and I got hired at another call center, and that kind of, once our uh paths crossed at that time, that was kind of like it. That's we served each other's purpose or whatever the case may be. But moving forward, that's kind of one way. Networking, communicating, kind of starting the conversation, right? Also, when you're looking on these Google websites, DuckDuck, whatever it is that you utilize, whatever your search engine is, look up effective ways to make good income with minimal skill set, minimal requirements, or whatever. If you have a degree or if you don't have a degree, kind of be able to look that stuff up to say, okay, you know what? What can I do with what I have now? Are you a good communicator? Are you a good typer? Are you one of those people that are good with a computer? Are you a good organization? Are you good with organizing things? Are you good with spelling? Are you good with reading, type? Kind of what skills do you have right then and there? Now that you know that you can utilize to help you to be able to get a job. What can you see yourself doing all day? If what you got going on is not necessarily bringing you the money, right? And kind of ask yourself those things and just kind of do a Google search. I mean, it's free. The same way that you can Google a World Star video, or you can Google some mess or some drama, and you want to look at it, use that same technique to Google some things to be able to better help yourself and your journey, and also investing in yourself. You see, it takes a little bit of effort from you to invest in yourself. And I know a lot of you people may be looking at this video, going to be like, oh, well, I know that. That's just basic. But you will be surprised at how many people don't know it or they forgot about it. And they're finding themselves in a situation because they're so far gone from it that they didn't even realize that that's kind of going back to basics because they're so far gone from it. And that's okay. We all have to kind of have that reminder, and we all have to kind of be enlightened to something new that we just may have not even thought of, that we may have not even known. And also, if you're looking for something that you kind of wanted to go to school for, you kind of want to know, well, you figured out your purpose and you know what it is, but you're doing it, but you're like, okay, this isn't going to really necessarily generate me money right now, maybe later down the line in the future, but I need to be focusing on something that's going to help me generate money because I still have to live, right? And you may be thinking about going to school, you may be thinking about trying to learn a new skill. Go ahead and do it. But I want to say, be more, make sure that you do it, but do it cost effective, and also efficient. You see what I'm saying? Just because you pay more, that doesn't mean that it's going to be better. Let me ask you this. If you was to ask a medical doctor, you're the patient, right? Not his colleagues, but you as a patient, you ask a medical doctor, what's the difference between this internist and the other internist? And this internist may have gotten their schooling from, I mean, the bare minimum. It was a school that, it was a school that, hey, it was, I'm not going to say no Baltic Avenue, but it was a school because it was accredited and everything, but it just wasn't no, it wasn't no rare, no well renowned school, right? It was just, hey, you got your education and you went and you asked a the same a different internist who has the same type of licensure and all those different types of things, right? And they went to, I don't even know if Harvard offers these things, but just for sake of clarity, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say Harvard, right? And they both went to school, they both got what they needed to get done, and they both passed their license exam. They're both medical doctors, they're both internists and things like that. And you ask them, what is the difference? One may have paid a whole lot more because they may have had access to a lot more. And another one took what they could get because they had to get student loans and things like that. And they took what they can get. They're still medical doctors. They're still both licensed. They're still both qualified to do what it is that they need to do. So at the end of the day, it's not about where you go to get what it is that you need to get. In some cases, because some cases the school you go to does play, it has a big bearing on your career outcome. It does in certain spaces and things like that. So I'm not even going to sit up here and make it seem like that. But let's just be honest and real. If you're watching this video 9 times out of 10, you're probably not in that space where you would want to be much worried about doing that, because if that's the case, you wouldn't even be looking at me or my videos because let's just be, because I'm not in that space. So you wouldn't even be trying to check me out. So it's safe to say that most of us are not in that space. Most of us that are looking at this video are probably in a space where we spiritual, we pretty much kind of working on our purpose, and we kind of know what our purpose is, but we know that it's not going to necessarily generate money, or we don't want to necessarily do it for money. So we need to be able to find something that we can do to get paid, that we can also be happy with doing and still have that level of fulfillment with us, right? I mean, that level of fulfillment with that level of fulfillment as well. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, kind of my thoughts kind of get ahead of me because I'm kind of getting a lot of downloads, a lot of messages from the husband kind of helping me, and I'm just kind of trying to make sure that I get them out. But it's like that battle of the ego with me trying to not say it this way and kind of trying to expand on something in my brain, and it's like, wait a minute, you're recording a video, it's not for you, it's to help the people. And so I have to kind of remember that, kind of keep me on track in a sense. So because I'm having a whole conversation in my head as I'm talking, and I'm kind of, So, anyways, if you want to go to school to become a nurse, I don't know why I keep thinking of a nurse, an RN, LVN, whatever the case may be. If that's something that you want to do, why? Because your purpose may be childcare. Your purpose may be uplifting kids and things like that. And you may not necessarily be able to do that and make money, the type of money that you want. But you can go to school to be a nurse, an LPN, and kind of be able to work in pediatrics. So that way you're still doing your purpose and doing what it is you like to do while you're also making money for it as well. Making money with it as well. So you gotta kind of get creative and kind of think outside of the box. And it's okay if you don't go about it the way that others may have gone about it. So the thing is this here. If you got in a school and you went to a community college and you got your RN degree there or your LVN degree there or the community college, and maybe someone went to a Capella or they went to this big name private school or whatever the case may be and gotten their nursing degree, their BSN, and whatever the case may be, and they spent a pretty good penny to get it. At the end of the day, when y'all both go sit for your NCLEX exam, and I think it's the NCLEX, and y'all both go sit for it, y'all are both going to take the same exam. And when y'all both pass, y'all are both going to have the same licensure. Y'all both going to be RN, LVN, BSN, whatever the case may be. Y'all both going to be the same thing. And you're going to get a job just like this other person going to get a job. Because nursing is one of those fields where they may want to have that biasness about whether or not what school you went to, but it's so much of a shortage right now, they ain't even really got the time. Because they're leaving in droves, so they really don't have the time to be that biased and that picky. Now, you still have some that will, and I guarantee you that they will fall because their patient outcome and patient flow, it will show. And don't worry about that. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't focus on the negative. Don't worry about, well, I didn't go to this particular school. I didn't go to a big major university. I went to a community college, or I went to one of these private schools that offered LBN programs, or they offered an RN program, and I paid $35,000 for it, and I could have went to community college and got it for 10, maybe 5,000, and you're just kind of like, what am I going to do? You know, you did what you had to do at that time. Now, yes, you are setting yourself up to be in debt when you graduate. You are. You got a whole $35,000 balance, boop, right here. It's gonna come due. So you need to be more efficient with it, and making sure that it's also cost effective. And you probably going to that school was your efficiency, right? Because you were able to get in, get out, get it taken care of, get started, and without all of the rigmarole of everything else you have to do when you go to a regular traditional brick and mortar college, right? So that was your reasoning for doing that. Well, research, what is your potential income? What can you potentially do? Where can you work? Can you go work at a community center and they actually may kind of offer loan forgiveness for a little bit, or they can pay something towards your loan, towards your student loans if you came and worked there. You have to kind of look at your options and explore those things so that way you can have a plan and develop that plan so that you can be able to still get what you need and then the time that you want and then you feel like you need it, while also being able to foot the bill as well, right? And those are just kind of an example of what you can do to kind of help you be able to effectively research good common ways of making money quickly. Your best target is going to probably be customer service, some type of customer service related type of job, phone type job. It, even listen, even security. If you the type of person where you got your whole purpose and you're not making the money, man, go do some security. Listen, your job is to observe, watch, and report. That's it. Observe and report is almost the same thing. Observe and report. That's what your job is, unless you become a commissioned officer. Then your responsibility becomes quite different. Yes, of course, if someone's having an issue, you're going to go there and you're going to try to de-escalate the situation and things of that nature. You're going to try to do those things because that's what you're there for too. But at the end of the day, how often, depending on where they place you at, that could be a good, easy hustle for you. And you can go, especially if you're a night owl, if you're a person that's a night owl, that's an easy hustle for you while you're able to still work on what you need to work on during the day while also still generating you some money. You see what I'm saying? And you may not be generating a lot of money, but let's just face it, if you are focusing on your business and things like that, you may not necessarily be as worried about the money anyway, because you may have probably been in an area or in a space where you only have to make a certain kind of money to be able to live and afford where you live at anyway. So I mean, and it's not like you're a person that came from making 100K a year and now you just have no money saved up in the bank and you're just trying to go start something new. Of course, it's not going to work for you because your expenses don't add up. A security job is not going to be able to pay those bills. But if you're someone who probably already was just a skilled worker in the first place, and you were just used to making maybe 17, maybe 12, make a certain amount of money anyway, and that's just kind of what you were doing, and now you're finding your purpose, you're seeing yourself happy and you're doing it, but it may take a little while. So getting a security job is not really going to be that big of a difference in pay anyways, because you're not at that level, and that's okay. When we not all can be, I ain't even at that level. You see what I'm saying? I'm in my car making a video, and it's just kind of like, so clearly I'm not doing this just because I'm sitting up here trying to get rich and all these other good things right here, because I'm in my car making a video of helping you and things of that nature. People think that when they see you counseling, coaching, spiritual business, any type of things like that, giving out these spiritual prophetic readings and all these things, they look at it as if you're making a ton of money doing that. Listen, the people, let me tell y'all a secret. The people that you have access to, that you can just really pick up on and look up on, those people that you have access to, 9 times out of 10 are people that just doing it because they enjoy doing it and they really, truly, genuinely want to help you. The people who are doing it for the money, you won't be able to watch them like that because it's free. 9 times out of 10, you won't even know these people. You won't know them. You won't know them. You won't know them. It's almost like these people that they talk about, you don't know them. You won't know them unless they're that kind of divergent, that kind of still loves the people and things of that nature, and they're kind of like looking at like the weirdo, But you would know them. You would know them. I mean, I'm just saying, because it's a free platform. You're not going to know them. You're not. These are people that you will probably see on bestpsychic.com, something like that. I think that's what that thing is called. You will find these people on forums and stuff like that, where you pretty much have to pay to see these people, to talk to these people, to even have a session or something with these people. You would have to pay. Even for these coaches, you would have to pay. So the people that you are seeing that are on YouTube that are trying to help you, that you probably just get into your algorithm, these are more than likely people, and people may not agree. They may say, "Oh, I got blah 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 blah," and that's cool for you. But for the majority of us, the people that you see are more than likely going to be people that are truly, genuinely wanting to help you, or they maybe want to scam you. So just be mindful of that. But they really, genuinely want to help you. And they're not necessarily doing it because they want to make money. Of course, we all have to live and we all want to live our purpose and things like that. but they're not doing it because they're making a big killing off of it. I'm telling you, because you have to give so much in these YouTube videos before you can even gain anything back, that it's almost to the point of, you're not doing it because you really want to do it. It's not even worth you investing the time and effort and energy and money into it in the first place, because this is actually taking time from me. This is taking energy from me. This is taking a lot of stuff from me that I'm gladly giving away, because for free, because it's something that I simply enjoy doing. It's not always about making the money. And this helps me to give back to people in a way that's cost effective and efficient for me. See, I'm actually practicing what I'm preaching. And me doing this is actually reflective of what I'm telling you. This is a cost effective, efficient way for me to be able to do my purpose and do exactly what I love to do, and to be able to do it for free without costing myself detriment or harm, harm. I want to say harm, but the detriment, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna just keep rambling, and I really just, I'm gonna close it off, Spirit. I'm closing off. Okay, Spirit. I'm doing it, Holy Spirit. I hope that I was able to resonate with some of you all, that I was able to offer you some type of advice, some type of little nugget, some type of knowledge to be able to help you along your journey, or spark that fire of curiosity or knowledge within you, so that you can go out and get what it is that you're needing or that you're looking for. Many blessings and good luck to you on your journey. I'll see you all in my next video. And for those of you that follow me on YouTube, don't forget to check out my Facebook page as well. I think that it's in the link, or you can go to my website and click on it from there. But you should be able to look it up on the Don Dwight. So DONDWIGHT. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. And I mean, I'm not gonna really see you all, but no, I'll be saying I look forward to seeing you. I'm not going to see you, but in your comments and in your views, I'll see you. So in spirit, right? So, anyways, peace. Until the next one.